Have you ever wondered who is the absolute genius that created paper, and where does it come from? How was it made? Whose invention, nearly 1,500 years ago, changed the way that humans communicate, learn, and record history today as we know it? And was it on purpose or was it on accident? Stick with me, and I'll teach you that and more today. So now you may be wondering, why should you listen to me? Believe it or not, I have done research on ancient Chinese history before. And I have a general understanding on how paper was made in ancient times. And third, I've used a mix of ancient records and public records that we have to make this paper. So first, I'll go over my main points. First, I'll tell you about Cai Lun, who he was, and how he created paper. Then, I'll tell you about how I made the first piece of paper. And then finally, I'll show you the lasting global impact of this creation. So, let's begin by learning about who created one of humanity's greatest inventions. Cai Lun was a Han Dynasty official in about 105 CE. Before this first invention, people wrote on bamboo, silk, hemp, or materials like old fishing net even. It's not exactly what you'd call fishing. So, Cai Lun began experimenting. He mixed hemp, bark, worn down cloth, and fishing net to create a new writing material. So he would mix these papers. He would beat down these materials into a pulp, mix them with water, and then he would let them dry as sheets. This produced a light, inexpensive, and durable surface for writing. So Cai Lun then presented his invention to the emperor. The emperor was so impressed, and he gave him high honors. And it was actually so impressed that Cai Lun was given the official credit in Chinese ancient text as the inventor of paper. So, with that knowledge about who invented it, let's take a look at how precisely Cai Lun made this material. So Cai Lun's process was the foundation of paper-making methods for over 1,000 years. The process involved a few significant steps. First, he would collect raw materials like tree bark, fragments of cloth, and old fishing nets. He'd boil them down and pound them into a pulp. Then, he'd mix it with water and spray it onto a mesh screen. And then he would allow that to flatten out and dry. And his method was superior at the time, and it was cheaper than previous writing instruments and quickly became widespread across China. So, obviously, Cai Lun's invention didn't stay in China. It went on to transition the whole world. So, let me show you my visual aid on how this has helped out the whole world. So here in 3000 BC, you can see the original invention of paper. This is Cai Lun's invention. Then, in about 1400, you have the Gutenberg printing press. And then in 1900, you have the London Library, which had 500,000 books. Then, in 1992, you have the internet explosion. You can see it's slowly rising. In 2002, 0.01% of the world's information was officially stored on paper. Then, in 2006, you could have 12 stacks of books from Earth to the Sun. I think that's pretty impressive. And then finally, in 2010, you see how much paper has been exploding over the years. You could have 2 stacks of books from Earth to Pluto. If that's not amazing, I really don't know what is. So, let's go over the worldwide impact of paper. Paper making quickly spread to the Islamic world in subsequent centuries. Then it went to Europe, and then the whole world changed in general. Paper made the spread of literature, learning, government records, and science possible. Sorry, I cough a lot when I speak. Smudge. It became simpler to read books and gain knowledge for masses. It played a vital role in revolution, religious instruments, and the spread of cultures. Without paper, there would never be a printing press. So, that has changed the world as we know it. Sorry, I was checking my time. So let's go over my conclusion. Let's restate my main points. So first, oh my goodness, sorry. First, we talked about Cai Lun and the fact that he had invented paper. Second, we went over the specific way he made paper. And then finally, we observed the global importance and worldwide impact of paper and the lasting impact of paper. So, next time you open a notebook, think about Cai Lun, a man whose invention 1900 years ago has made it all possible and shaped our world as we know it. Thank you for your time.